Vitus Chukwuwanchukwu, Chief Dealer and Head of Trading at UBA. Now, Better Glass, manufacturer of glass packaging solutions in West and Central Africa, has reported a 334% rise in its profit after tax to 18.71 billion naira in the first half of 2025, driven by an increased market demand for glass packaging in key sectors. Now, the business operating, revenue stood at 78.23 billion naira, a 63% rise in the period under review. Earlier, Vitus Ezinwa, chairman of Better Glass, spoke about the result and what to expect for the year end. Take a listen.
You can see all indices, every aspect of the financials recorded improvement, revenue 60%, 63% up to 78.23 billion from about 47.8 billion same period in 2024. PBT also strong growth, 337%, 27.6 billion from about just the 337% growth in PBT, and PAT about 334% as well. And of course, earnings per share, which is an outcome of all of it. So this reflects the continued focus on execution by the management team. You've seen the activities that we've been engaging on over the past 1 year. Capacity expansion, focusing on sustainability, recycling, increasing the percentage of recycled materials in our products, which gives us some cost efficiencies. And at the end of the day, you have a solid management team in place, and of course, supported by a board that is aligned with the management on what the company is trying to achieve.
All right, now let's also touch on key issues. Obviously, like every company here in Nigeria has witnessed some form of macro headwinds now, inflation and the likes now. So how have you been able to edge that to get this result?
Well, the headwinds will always be there. As I always say, it's what you can control is what you focus on. Forex is there, but there's more predictability. As we've seen more stability, and so that's less of an issue. As I always say, the absolute number is not as important as that predictability and stability, so you can plan. Manage to hedge that. Obviously, as I said, input of local raw materials has helped us to hedge on that. The rest of the issues, what you can control is what you focus on, because even if the macros and the external issues are all great, but you don't execute properly, you still get no result.
All right, now let's talk about other issues right now regarding how basically the core markets now, how you've been able to drive penetration and then also achieve this record growth now. How you breaking into the core markets, particularly for West and Central Africa?
The biggest market remains Nigeria. We've seen growth in demand from customers locally in the country, but also exports. We're exporting into 9 countries, supported by a very capable, competent French-speaking team, and taking advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. But essentially, again, it's about doing what you're doing better, selling more to the customers you have locally, and then exploiting opportunities that become available on the West African sub-region.
All right, now, one thing I'll also look at again in your results, you posted the fact that there's been an increased demand right now. In an era where inflation in Nigeria is still hitting high and satirization has become an in thing right now, how is that affecting your growth?
At the end of the day, it's about value. People are looking for value. If you make good products, quality products at good price that people ascribe value to, so even when people reassign their spend, but they know what they want, and if you provide that, with B2B, largely B2B business, but also with impact on B2C. So as consumer consumption ability and spend increases, it touches on us. But at the end of the day, you want to make yourself the preferred supplier, the preferred provider of service and the goods that we sell to our customers at good price. And I've recall that the 2 biggest quarters are yet to come. We're going into, I think the second quarter will be the lowest in terms of numbers. We're going into the peak season and demand would continue to increase. And, you see optimism, you see inflation coming down the country, and all we can do is take advantage of that, make sure we continue to satisfy demand of customers at good price.
All right, now, before I let you go now, I'd like to also find out how the expansion drive is going, investment into that space in terms of facilities as well. What's the year-end target?
Well, the expansion, 17.5 million euros in additional funds to expand capacity and make sure that we're able to meet growing demand. As I said, we're going into the peak season, and of course, export drive continues to be a key part of our growth drive. And then I can tell you, look at the numbers. I can't give you specific numbers. Look at the half-year results and recognize that we're going into what is arguably going to be the biggest half of the year, considering that the fourth quarter is the biggest in terms of consumption and all of that. The trend will continue. It's very positive all around, and the trend will continue. We expect that to be the case.
Vitus Ezinwa, chairman of Better Class, they're unpacking their half-year